Hello, 87. So for this video, I'm going to show you what I'm planning on doing for the model. And I am planning on making a lobster trap. So the dimensions that I'm going to use for the lobster trap are these. Some plans that I found on the internet. It says a lobster pot from the east coast of Canada. But this is obviously way too big for me to make at home. 550 millimeters wide, 346 tall, and 814 millimeters long. So I need to make a scale model. And the way I'm going to do that is that my model will be a 1:16 scale model, meaning 1 millimeter on my model will be the equivalent to 16 millimeters on the real trap. And this is a ratio because we are comparing the same units, millimeter to millimeter, compared to the rates we were using with the NBA, WNBA question because we were comparing different units. So a rate compares different units, points to dollars or whatever, and a ratio compares the same unit, in this case, millimeters to millimeters. And now to plan my model. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the materials. I got a whole bunch of popsicle sticks from around the house that I'm going to measure and cut once I figure out the measurements. Then I've got this red webbing from a container of oranges, and then I'm going to hold it together, I think, with duct tape and with hot glue. So those are the things I'm going to use for this model, stuff from around my house. In terms of the measurements for finding out how big my model is going to be so that it is 1:16, what I'm going to do is I have got the measurements from the internet. I'm going to draw a little sketch, and I know that the real one is 814 millimeters long. And I know that the height of the real one is 346 millimeters. And I know that the width of the real one is 550 millimeters. And I knew that I wanted my model to be 50 millimeters long, which is about that. I needed to play around with the right scale. So I ended up with a 1:16 scale. So then I take the width, 814 millimeters, divide it by 16. And when I do that, I'm going to get the length of the trap on my model, which is going to be 50.87. And then I do the same with the width, which is 550 divided by 16. And again, this is converting the real life lengths, the lengths I use for my model, which gives me a width of 34 millimeters. And then I do the same with the height, 346 divided by 16, which gives me a height for my model in millimeters of about 21.662 millimeters. And that is my scale of 1:16. Okay, so those are my measurements that I'll be using for my model. They're a lot smaller than the real trap, and I'm going to do my best to build it this weekend, and I'll post a little video on Monday. And hopefully everybody else takes a crack at making a model, doing a design, something hands-on away from the computer, and we'll talk next week. Good luck, 87.